Midnight Edge drops a video. Go and check it out. Tama and Andre and the gang, and it's about the latest on the Gina Carano fiasco at Lucasfilm and the fallout. First off, it sounds like the hedge fund managers, the investors are pissed. They didn't. I mean, they didn't want to see her gone. Let's see what else. Disney was caught flat-footed. And the funniest thing, and you guys are gonna laugh, this is a rumor, grain of salt, big, hunky, big, huge grain of salt, is that apparently Kennedy is getting bombarded with hate mail. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys, right here, right now, there's a rule I have. If you have a problem with her, you go to a video on the Oscars thing and yell and spew and rant. But if you write hate letters, phone calls, or send kitty litter, I don't know who you are. You are, you're gonna get the big blackball. And the reason simply is this: we don't do that. We don't need to do that. The blowback, just looking on YouTube and Twitter and everything else, and what the investors are saying, and yada yada yada. That's all that's needed. We don't need that kind of drama. But I gotta say, I did have a chuckle. She didn't think, this woman really does believe she's popular. She really believes that she's a very well-loved woman, and that Gina Carano again, there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with Kathleen Kennedy, okay? This is not me just making a pronouncement, but I think she was shocked, because she thought she could just kind of weather a day or two of news and that'd be that, but it's not going away. Go to the Oscars page and look on every video, not just one, all of them. She is getting excoriated right now. Couple that with the rumors that the investors are upset. The fact that she pulled this move before the meeting. Takari. Look, man, there's a whole lot of room under my bed, and I think if the dog knew she was under there, he'd drag her out. All right, then can I play fetch with her? I don't, the horse is like, if she shows up and tries to hide in my manger, I'm kicking her ass. Okay, I don't know. Here's the deal. I'm 50-50 on even if the whole hate mail kitty litter thing is true. The reason simply is this: I don't know anybody in my circle that would do something like that. I don't know anybody in the fandom menace, even people I don't talk to, that would condone something like that. So, knowing the propensity for people on that side of the aisle to fake hate crimes and hoaxes, I'm kind of like, okay, well, let's just, if this gets out in the public, if this goes public, and I can't imagine Disney really wanting the president of Lucasfilm being hounded and chased into hiding by people sending her bags of dirty kitty litter. I don't know if they want that to go public. And I think we'd probably be worse. I think we would come up with something worse. I'm not saying there aren't people crazy enough to do something like that, but no, I think if it comes out in public and they make a big stink about it, it's gonna be a fake. We'll find out. Jason Ward, he faked the Kelly Marie Tran thing. But I gotta say, man, you guys, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here going, really? I do think she's probably laying low, and I'm not gonna necessarily think that it's probably hate. I do think that people have written her mean letters. I do think that she's well aware of getting pummeled on YouTube. And not just by these usual suspects. I dare you to find anybody's name of somebody you know on these videos. I haven't seen anybody. And even the one that they stopped the comments on, I haven't seen anybody that we know from the fandom menace. Nobody. It's very interesting to me. This is an out and outright rebellion by fans in general. Okay, across the political board, across everything, and it's fascinating to me watching this kind of like this thing unfold. And now we've got this. Now Doomcock on Twitter, you can, if you have a link to a tweet, you can actually see it if you don't belong to Twitter, which is what I do now. I mean, why belong to Twitter? I mean, you can see what people are saying if they're not protected. And he basically has more. I mean, he's got a lot more. And you know, he's been under no power because I think he's in Texas. You know, one of those peons that live in Texas, according to one of the Star Trek bitches. But you know, he's gonna try to go live in 15 minutes. So I'm gonna keep this short so you guys can go watch and see what Friday Night Frolics is all about if it happens. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. There's some serious shit going down. I mean, I think, and I'm gonna tell you this too. I think that this is gonna be going on through next week and the week after. I really, really do. As long as Disney doesn't say anything, as long as they don't do anything, as long as they, you know, pat her on the fanny and let her get away with murder, the fans are going to be rioting. Hey, Pocket. The fans are going to be rioting. So now the story is, the rumor is, she's laying low. She's in hiding over hate mail, nasty phone calls, which, how is she getting, who has her phone? I wouldn't want to call her. And, you know, people sending her dirty kitty litter. Oh, it is cold. I mean, it's cold here too. I mean, it ain't nice. So, of course it's overshadowing WandaVision. No one cares about WandaVision. I mean, the big reveal. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, this is me. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if the kitty litter thing and the hate mail is true or not. I do believe she's probably gotten some mean letters, but I don't know if anybody, I mean, threatening, who would do that? I mean, who would do that? So I, you know, think this is probably, it's either some really crazy people that we don't know, that don't go on YouTube, or it's somebody who wants to frame the fans badly and make her out like some sort of innocent victim. And you remember, Jason Ward, Ichibaka proved it. He was the one that went onto Wikipedia with his friend and changed Kelly Marie Tran's stuff and did all that racist stuff on her page on Wikipedia. So, you know, and I have no fucks to give when it comes to him, because I know 99% of it is true. Okay, we all do. This is why he doesn't demand we prove anything. I mean, he knows we've got him. But it's just, this is, yeah, it could be Kathy Smollett. I mean, I'm not kidding you. But remember, it's a rumor. It's a funny rumor. I mean, I did a great meme and I sent it to Tom so he could laugh of a cat taking a dump in a litter box. Granny's kitty preparing a present for Kathy, or for Kennedy. You know, I mean, the memes now speak for themselves, that write themselves. I mean, it's just, you know, but I do believe that there's a strong backlash and it's not going to end. It's just not. Now, the war. This is the Civil War. Of course excuses are being made, but no one believes them. The investors don't believe them. I mean, if I was an investor going, I really don't care what she said. I didn't. Oh, no, by the way, I saw what she said. What is wrong with you people? You know, if you don't want your people going on Twitter saying stuff, then tell them to stay off of Twitter. Simple as a pimple. You know, put it in their contracts. You can't tweet as long as you work for us. Okay. You know, Pedro Pascal is going to be going, you know, but yeah, I know, Pocket. I know. I think, you know, I'm going to tell you a story. But let me go grab a glass of wine first, and I'll be right back. Just entertain yourselves. Entertain yourselves. Anyway, here's the deal. Now, what was the story I was going to tell you guys? I can't even remember now. But I believe it's true. I do believe that she's in hiding. I really think that there's shit going down. And I do think the Bobs are getting mailed. The Bobs are just absolutely getting their asses kicked right now. I mean, somebody I know has both their emails and has been emailing them. And not hate mail, just saying, what are you doing? Please fix this. Okay? Assistants, front, you know, people who do the email and their assistants are like down. Investors are pissed. The Bobs are like, why did you do that? Why? You know, we didn't like what you were saying either, but why? You know, so I'm like, you know, oh, I wish I could remember that story. I really wish. I was going to tell you guys a good story because it kind of worked. It worked its way in. The thing about it is, oh yeah, okay, I'll tell you a story. My husband, as colonel and as the commander of headquarters battalion for the 1st Marine Division, which was a regimental size command. It had all kinds of elements to it. It had the provost. It had the photographers and the filmers. All these different elements to it, and there were family like resource officers, civilians, attached to each command. And we had this girl who looked a lot like Sarah Jessica Parker from Sex and the City, named Lee Triann. And Lee Triann was incompetent as the day is long. I mean, my dog would have done a better job. The job was basically doing, you know, creating activities for the families, being outreach to the wives if they needed anything, like, you know, where to get a good doctor outside the Department of Defense, and all these things that women going from post or camp to camp, post to post, would need to know. Okay, like schools and all these things. You know, provides activities for the kids, la-di-da. The girl was so incompetent, she pissed the women off. Now, we lived off base, so I didn't have to, I mean, I would go on there, hanging out with the women. I would hear stories and go, oh my God. And then Lee Triann, oh, hi, Mrs. Janicek, blah, blah, blah. We're doing, and I'm like, hi. You know, and it finally came to a head where she had to go. She just had to go. Now, here's the deal. She is a government employee. It's really hard to fire somebody who is a government employee in the United States. They put up so many hoops to do. I mean, it finally got done. And she kind of probably got a feeling it was going to happen. And I think it took my husband 3 days to give her the papers. She was gone. Because she would be elsewhere all the time. And it was just really amazing. But Kathy might be doing that. I mean, she might be hiding on the Bobs. I mean, think about it. Would you want to go into the Burbank studios knowing that Iger's waiting for you in your office so he can kick you right out through the door and split the uprights at the Coliseum during a football game? There she goes, flying, field goal, 3 points. I mean, that could actually be why. I don't, again, now, the rumor has it they're trying to protect her. Are they? Or is she hiding on purpose? Not from people sending her hate mail. That's the story. That's the rumored story. But to me, it could be either way. It could be a rumor bullshit. It could be true, and idiots are doing stupid shit like that. And don't come on my channel, and don't let me find out you did that. Or it could be she's hiding out from the Disney suits. They're not going to go to her Malibu beach house and fire her there. If this is the wake-up call, if this is true, well, yeah, it is. I mean, after years of enabling the abuse of fans, I'm okay. It, that's true, but why? This isn't going away. This is not, I mean, it happened a week ago. Usually we all get in a tizzy and then something else happens, so we're all in a tizzy about that. I think this is it. I really, really do. Is Disney prepared to wait until October for her to leave? Or are they finally going to say, we've had it. You have to go. We're done. I can't do this anymore. We can't do this anymore. I mean, and the funny thing about it, she did this to herself. Had she insisted they use George's treatments, a lot of people here might be angry. Had she insisted on keeping the spirit of the EU and elements of it, people, the fan base wouldn't be nearly as ready to go full-on nuclear on her as they are right now. Had she left Gina Carano alone, and had someone talked to her as a human being and not said, well, here's our prepared canned apology. No, I'm not gonna, and said, well, we'll let you write your own, or not apologize. Just say, hey, you know what? Cool it on the Twitter. Cool it. Share pictures of butterflies and dogs, but just kind of tone it down a little bit. She wouldn't. I mean, Kennedy wouldn't be in this situation. She did it. Hail, Parrot Head. She wouldn't be in this situation. She wouldn't be getting cat litter in her mail. I mean, if that's true, please tell me none of you did that, okay? Because you're gone. I'll kick your ass. I will personally kick your ass. I mean, what I really think is that when Momita Sen Gupta was hired, was that a month ago now? Very low key. No one really knew about it until somebody told me, and I'm like, holy shit, she's doing Kennedy's job for the streaming. Michelle Redwan, I assume she's still there. She's doing the feature film stuff. So, what does Kennedy do? Does all she really have is the acolyte? And of course, there's a rumor that they're looking at Amber Heard of all people to play the acolyte in that god awful. Which will never be made. All right, that'll. You really want to see the fans go ballistic? Mention Amber Heard. Okay, I think the only person worse right now is Kennedy than Amber Heard. Eastland. Yeah, her background, Sen Gupta's background is finance. It's just basically production. It's not creative at all. And I think they're not gonna actually replace Kennedy at all. It's just gonna be Sen Gupta and Rejwan, and then heads of creative will be Filoni and Favreau, and then you'll have, maybe Feige, do whatever. Kind of like, this is, or maybe, Sen Gupta will walk in and be president of Lucasfilm, but she doesn't have that experience. And I think if she's working for and under somebody who's creative, somebody who has run big budget movies, etc., Jon Favreau, I think that'll work. I really do. I think that'll work. And I'm going to say this. I said this today, did I not? Hey, Aliko. I said this today. Whatever you put out in the universe will come back to you. Last week, Gina Carano found out online that she was no longer working at Lucasfilm, that she wasn't going to be offered any, it was akin to a firing. Now what's going on? What did Kennedy this is the thing, is no one's told her to back off. No one's, it's time for honesty. It's time for brutal truth. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. I think, but I'm going to say this. Jon Favreau's a cool guy. He's one of us. And I think he'd be a great leader for Lucasfilm. And I'll tell you something else. It would give him every excuse. Pablo, you've had a long run here. Haven't been successful. You've caused a lot of trouble. And you've been kind of a drag on the franchise. So we're letting you go. That's all he has to say. That's all anybody would have to say to him. Or, your contract's up in 2 months and we're not renewing it. We'll find somebody else. Remember that job that Itchy found on December 9th was there, and it was Pablo's job. So what's going on here? Are there two Lucasfilms? Are they building one up around the one that's dying? It's just really weird to me. Everything is really weird to me right now. And with Disney not being remotely, whatever, Riff, I'm going to say this. I think it's, if you keep your mouth shut, you do good work. You don't really, you talk about the work and not anything else. I think you're fine. And you got to remember that Jon Favreau's a generation with like Luke Wilson, whom when he was on Facebook, we actually friended each other. Luke Wilson is an awesome, awesome guy. He's a Texan through and through. Then you've got Southside Chicago boy, Vince Vaughn. And Vince Vaughn is fucking awesome too. I mean, he's a 150,000% American guy, and he doesn't. I mean, you know, and he's huge. I mean, friends of mine have seen him, and they're like, I didn't realize he was that tall. I'm serious. He's a big boy. It's all very. So I think Favreau just being quiet about everything is fine. I know a lot of people are like, he didn't even stick up for her. There are people out there that don't really understand the delicacy of the situation. Because, well, the rumor was Kennedy demanded it's either Carano or Favreau. It's like, what? Are you fucking serious? I mean, that's how powerful she thinks she is. And I'm going to tell you this. All these people going, she doesn't look like she hasn't lost any power. Okay. Completely ignoring the rumors that she went around behind the Bob's backs to get Headland to develop the Acolyte. And then they're like, we're fucked. We have to do this. We'll give it. We'll let them develop it, and we'll never make it, which is what's going to happen. And then, going around their backs with with this Gina Carano thing. What, who wrote that? Sorry. Seaman, was that recently? Where did you hear that? Because that's very interesting to me. It's very, very, very interesting to me. Somebody name we'd recognize, clean up Lucasfilm, or he'd walk. And that was Disney? Was it somebody involved with Lucasfilm? Or was it Disney as a whole? It could be Favreau. It could be Filoni. It could be... I don't think it's George Lucas, because he's not working there. It could be Harrison Ford. When you think about that, I'm not going to do Indy 5 then. Fuck this shit, I'm done. I mean, Steven Spielberg already walked. I mean, he told Kathy, I'm done. I'm not supporting you anymore. He walked away. So, was that... When was it? Was that the recent article? I wonder who it is. And I wonder... Yeah, licensees... Okay, Lucasfilm. Then I'm going to say, horrifying enough, that it's got to be Favreau. It could be James Mangold. It could, I mean, Favreau's the one that we all jump to right away. But let's see, what big movies, what big names, other big names? James Mangold, Harrison Ford. Well, he is, but he's a day ago. Okay, I'm going to read that. I'm going to check that out later. It could be anybody. All right, the first person I would accuse of that would be Favreau. I think he's probably sick and tired of this shit. And I don't blame him. It's unprofessional. I mean, Kennedy is an unprofessional person. It could be James Mangold walking away from writing and directing Indy 5. It could be Harrison Ford. I mean, it could be Carl Weathers. And that, after watching him talking with Filoni and Favreau, I can see him saying something like that. It could be Tamura Morrison. It could be, who else? Wouldn't be Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's not You know, he might play Luke Skywalker, but he's not Luke Skywalker, not by a long shot. A name we'd all recognize. You know, if it is Lucas, I mean, and they need him. They need him. And I can see him saying, this isn't professional. We don't treat fans like this. You know, here's the deal. There's a generation. What is Carl Weathers saying? See, I quit Twitter. When they banned the president, I said, fuck you, I'm done. So what is Carl Weathers saying? Because I know he stuck up for Gina once. I could see Robert Rodriguez walking away. I like him. Ewan McGregor. I know, if I was running, let's say like, we finally get a sequel trilogy we want, and they get Harrison back, they get Mark. And it's gonna be great. I would basically tell him, put it in the contract, no discussion of politics on the set. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. No tweeting from the set. No Insta, none of it. Okay, none. Okay, this is going to be a united set. I'm going to teach you guys again what Star Wars is all about. Bringing people together. There's a shock. Not acting like a bunch of left-wing lunatics. Okay. You know, Robert Rodriguez, Ron Howard, Bryce Dallas Howard, Kevin Feige, it's really, to me, that's really interesting to me. I wonder, I have heard there's a rumor, maybe Filoni, maybe, but Deborah Chow, yeah, maybe Deborah Chow. It's just, it's, to me, it's just, it's sad that it's come to this, but how can you be a professional actor? Let's say like you've been in the business for a while, Harrison Ford, and you walk into a studio you worked with that basically made your career, and see that it's degenerated into a bunch of chimpanzees throwing shit at each other. That'd piss you off, wouldn't it? That'd be like, this shit's gotta end. This is bullshit. You know, Steven Spielberg's already walked away. You know, so it could be anybody, but my, if it's true, my money's on Favreau. You know, this is, Lico, they reshot supposedly 40% of The Rise of Skywalker. Somewhere in a vault, there's a rough cut of what they wanted to put up there. Kennedy shat herself and said, no, reshoot it. From what I've heard, it was a debacle from the get-go. No one knew. The story changed from day to day to day to day to day. 40%. They reshot 80%, they say, of Solo. I would say I bet you $1,000 if that's a conservative estimate. I bet you they shot 90 or 100% of that movie. I bet you they reshot the whole fucking thing. Yeah, and I think they know that. Okay, it's from February 16th, so it was a few days ago. Okay, I haven't seen it. I'm not going to say, because there's a lot of people that description fits. They have to fix it. She has to go. Kennedy has to go. This is it. This is the make or break. They have to decide she has to go. Why she's been there, it's like when when the German army went up to Monte Cassino, big hill with a monastery on top. I actually think St. Francis of Assisi is buried up there or nearby there. And the Germans were up there and they had to get him out of there. And so the Allies bombed it. Germans didn't go anywhere. And it's on a big hill, so if you are coming to go get them on the ground, you have to go up, and they're just like shooting right down on you. Finally, they were forced out, but it destroyed the monastery. This beautiful old, first century, 10th century monastery in Italy, gone. And it's kind of when I look at KK, it's kind of like that. She's buried in Lucasfilm's ass like a tick buried in a dog's ass. God, that woman's full of herself. But if she's in hiding, like I said, there are three reasons. She did receive death threats, and they are credible, and they're scared. If I find out any of you did that, I'm on the phone to the cops. All right, I'm serious. Don't fuck around like that. We don't do that. We don't do that. But the cat litter is funny. She's hiding from the Bobs. Okay, she's laying low, like Lee Tran. Or she's waiting until it blows over. This ain't going away. This ain't going away. We're never gonna not. I mean, what she did is unforgivable. And if Favreau goes, it's over. I mean, and the Bobs are gonna have to weigh their options. You've got licensees who don't want to be part of it anymore. They're pissed. Investors are pissed. I think she's done. I mean, that's just my feeling, is that I think she's done. This is the final straw. This is it. I mean, everybody's pissed at her now. I mean, everybody. And it's a good thing. I mean, it's time for her to go. It really, I mean, see ya. Don't let the door hit you in the ass, It's all very interesting, but we'll see. I'm really hoping that it's not Favreau. I would rather see, because honest to God, they've got Indy 5 in development. Mangold's writing the script. Ford sees what's going on. He's doesn't like controversy. He doesn't like any of this shit, okay? And I can't imagine him going, right on, Kathy. I could see him saying, I'm not doing it. You clean up Lucasfilm. Clean this goddamn mess up. I'm not doing it. It has to be someone with enough power to get their attention. Okay? And let me tell you, Harrison Ford basically chased Shia LaBeouf out of Hollywood. Shia's career has never been what it should have been after Ford basically put him on daddy blast after what Shia said about Steven Spielberg. I mean, I think it's time. What I really wish is somebody out there, some famous person who knows Kathleen, would just say, Kathy, I think it's time for you to go. This isn't working out. You've done your best, but it's just not happening for you. And I think it's time to cut your losses. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be at Lucasfilm. You don't. Oh, she has a lot of things, but she did that to himself. And the mistake he made, because a lot of actors are drug addicts and alcoholics. the mistake he made was attacking Steven Spielberg. And Ford got pissed. And he doesn't get pissed publicly, hardly ever. I think there was one other time I have an interview upstairs in one of the entertainment weeklies that I've got collected, and they were making The Devil's Own, and something was going on with the shooting, and you know, getting that, you know, schedule was this and that, and there were rumors going around that he and Melissa were changing things, and they weren't, and he just got pissed. I mean, I was like, holy crap, I wouldn't want him mad at me. Jeez Louise. You know, that is a mighty and impressive anger, let me tell you. Okay? So, I mean, if it's him, if it's somebody like that, even like if it's Steven Spielberg, they take it seriously. If it's Ford, they take it seriously. Robert Rodriguez, they might take it seriously. Jon Favreau, then they'd have to weigh, do we want The Mandalorian to be a success? He's the one that built it. He's the one that wrote it, la-di-da. Or do we want to keep Kathy around? And then weigh what she's done compared to... Okay. She would end up on the short stick on that. She would. She, you know, but if she's in hiding, that means all kinds of things. That means all kinds of stuff. So, you know, I don't know. Anyway, let's see, what time is it? It is, I'll stay on for another 9 minutes. I think I can do that. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, I would hope it's not Favreau. You know, I really do. You know, it's really funny. I've been watching quite a few of the Godfather things, and when you're watching those movies and you're reading about the mafia, you suddenly look at what's going on at Lucasfilm, and it's like it's two families going to war against each other. It's bizarre. Oh yeah, Doomcock is on too. So, if you guys want to cut and run, you can. I'm gonna be here for another few minutes. Mark Hamill? It could be Mark Hamill, but I don't see him having the guts enough to say anything like that. I mean, he's, you know, that story that he went to Iger and said, you got to keep Kathy from calling me and yelling at me. That's, I would say it was true. But I don't see him confronting Kathy. I see Ford confronting her. Oh yeah. I see him looking at her going, you have no idea what you're talking about. And not putting up with their shit. I mean, first off, you know, he is who he is. And you know, it wouldn't be disrespectful or mean for him to do that. It's colleagues talking and one making an ass of herself. I mean, that's it. That's what that would be. And him not tolerating it. I don't see that man, everything that I know about him, tolerating incompetence and unprofessionalism. And she has fostered nothing but incompetence and unprofessionalism at Lucasfilm. So, you know, Indy 5 is the only movie that they've really got coming out for Lucasfilm right now. Think about that. I want you to wrap your minds around that. Because if it's him saying that, that is a throat slitter. Mangold saying that is a throat slitter. Mangold is a good director. He's a good writer. He's a good lot of things. We'll see. I mean, I would like, again though, we don't know if that's true or not. Again, we're basing all this stuff on speculation. Oh yeah, you're right, Dave. The Kiss of Death. On speculation and rumors. But I gotta say, I think she's done. They can't keep her around anymore. They absolutely can't. The circus that she's fostered is extraordinary, in my opinion. Absolutely, like, it is unfathomable that she could get away with it. And she has for years. She's, women I know in the professions that I worked in, Capitol Hill. A good friend of mine is the chief of staff to our congressman. She's a retired Army officer. She doesn't take shit from anybody. And those kids run like a well-oiled machine. That is how you run a movie studio. Okay, no nonsense. I don't give a fuck what you think. We're doing it this way, okay? You don't treat your customers like this. You do your job, and you do it with passion and love. Okay, because we're creating something, and all of that will shine through. If you don't like it here, and it's just a job to you, there's the door. I can find 20 people that'll be happy to take your job and do it better than you. That's what you tell these people, because there are. There are. I mean, you don't hire and you don't keep people around that don't really want to be there. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think Pablo Hidalgo likes his job? Do you think he ever liked his job? I'll let you guys think about that, because I don't think so. Okay? I don't think so at all. Okay? I don't think Matt Martin likes his job. Okay? At all. Yeah, you're right. Apathetic, unprofessional, incompetent, angry all the time. It's just wrong. Pablo likes Pablo. That's it. He doesn't care about putting good content out there. The moment this thing, it's warm, we're having a weenie roast. I'm not kidding. I'll do it live. Hopefully it'll work, where we can all hang around and cheer and laugh and watch this piece of shit that I didn't spend a dime on because Dave bought it for me. Just go whoosh. Anyway, we've got licensees that aren't coming back, that want out of their licenses. They don't want to do Star Wars toys anymore. Without Baby Yoda, Gina Carano. Why? Oh, I will. I'll find good ones. I mean, you tell me, send me an email and tell me what subjects, and I'll find them, and I'll say, this is for Dave. All right? Anyway, I'm going to rock, because Doomcock's on, and I want to see what he's doing, too. So maybe he'll drop a few hints at his next video. You guys have a good Friday night. If you go out, don't drink too much. If you're in Texas, God bless you. It will get better. It will get warmer. I've been to Texas. I know how fucking hot it can get. And to the rest of you guys, have a good night and stay safe. And remember, hit up those Wookiee bartenders. Give them their 20%. I know it's too much. You tell them that. I have no control over what they want. They're here out of their own good graces. All right. Besides, one of them is a really good cook. Anyway, see you around the galaxy, guys.